Welcome into another episode of High Five. As always, Niko, we got John and Dan. We have other Dan joining us, the main Dan of the channel, the chief himself.
Wow, main Dan.
Well, yeah,
second tier Dan.
I mean, he owns the whole place and runs every show.
This could be difficult with another Dan on the show. I'm not used to that.
Yeah, the double Dan.
When I hear Dan, I always look right away.
This is the first time we have a two Dan thing going on.
First time on the show.
Yeah. Welcome in. So as you know, High Five, we're ranking our top 5. So you can see by the set, we are doing X-Men universe characters. So like, you could call it like mutants, you could call it, and they don't have to be on the team X-Men. So just
it can be villains too.
It can be villains, as referenced by the Magneto pop we have up there. But yeah, if you're new to the show, we're ranking our top 5 favorites. Not the best. Favorites, not the strongest.
Who's been on the show before me?
I mean, it really depends on how we air. Probably Boder.
Boder and Mike have been on already, right?
Yup.
Yeah.
Possibly Steve, depending on when we air. Who knows? Could have some surprise guests on here.
I've been on the show too.
Well, it's your show. Your show. But yeah, so it's our top 5 favorite X-Men universe characters. We'll throw in our least favorite as well. Dan, you want to kick us off?
Yep. So for my first pick, I'm going with Iceman, Bobby Drake, one of the original X-Men characters. Ice powers, obviously. I just thought he was really cool. You know, he is always one of the big ones in the movies as well. There's not much to say about him. He's just one of the originals, and I don't know. I don't have anything.
Well, I'll say
argue about that.
He's no Frozone. I think Frozone is the best ice
character
person. I would not. Iceman. I know Iceman was made before Frozone was made, but he's not as good.
Captain Cold.
He doesn't actually have ice powers.
What about Mr. Freeze?
Really? That's DC.
He uses a gun too, though.
Captain Cold.
Nice guy.
Are you really comparing Iceman to Mr. Freeze?
I mean,
at first, I'm pretty sure Mr. Freeze needs a gun to do it.
Yeah.
Am I wrong? Iceman actually has the power.
Yeah.
It's a complete difference, Niko.
He's an ice-based character.
I actually like
it's completely
Captain Cold
different.
better.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I think that Frozone is the
Iceman's
best ice-based
cool,
character.
like sliding around on his ice, but he also stinks. He seems like he's kind of a cocky piece of garbage.
What? Where?
I don't know,
cocky?
in the movies.
Oh my god.
Yeah, he's cool in the movies. Like when
He is cool in the movies.
No.
It's always like
It is your favorite.
It was always like when
It's
like people
favorite.
break into the X Mansion, he like starts building like a wall of ice and they run away. It's sweet. So
Yeah.
good character to have on your team.
Okay.
I like it.
I don't hate him.
He just sucks, right?
He sucks. My number 5, decided last minute before we got on here. I had a lot to choose from. Is Colossus. Mostly just because he's shiny and cool.
He's also
Russian, so he talks cool. I really just like the shininess. I like the Colossus Juggernaut battles, like just the big titans just fighting. And he's, again, very shiny. I do like that.
He's got like a special move with like Wolverine where he like throws Wolverine into like Sentinel. Wolverine sticks his claws into it. Sweet.
I will say I didn't really like him that much from my old cartoon watching until the Deadpool movies, and now he's cool.
I also don't think that he's the coolest shiny character either. I think Silver Samurai looks a lot cooler than... Dan,
shiny characters in
really...
general, Silver Surfer is the coolest shiny character.
Could Emma Frost count as a shiny character?
It's different shine though. That's like a
We're
clear
talking about, like,
see-through. This is
silver.
like metal.
Like diamond.
Yeah.
Was he Russian in the movies, though?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not
well,
the
not,
Deadpool.
not the original ones. I think he was just American in like the original ones.
Yeah, that's what I'm
But
saying.
I
Like in
think
the movie, I actually hate him in the Deadpool movies.
Really?
I don't like him in the movie. I think the character, I just don't like the character.
It just allows for some funny...
I mean,
stuff
he is
going on.
Russian in the comics.
Yeah.
But I don't think he was Russian in the
He was
actual
like a
X-Men.
like a
Original ones.
young kid in the original ones.
He's
They
actually
really didn't
from
do him
Russia.
justice in the
Yeah.
movies.
Is he like big part of those early movies?
Not really. He's like a nobody in like the first one. Like he's like
Yeah.
All I
just
can
like
think
a.
about is like when I know I just said this, like when they're breaking into like X Mansion, you see him like
Dan's
turn.
favorite scene.
It's a great scene.
I know it is.
It was between him and Emma Frost for my 5 slot, really, when you broke it down. And I went with him. I gave him the edge.
I like him.
I like him too.
He was contender for my list. Spoiler alert,
Just-
didn't make it, but
Just edged out the number 5 slot.
yeah.
I mean, one could argue he's one of the more powerful X-Men.
Yeah,
I mean, when you,
definitely.
he
He definitely is.
yeah.
It's pretty sweet. He just...
I mean, just his durability alone, he's pretty powerful.
I'd say
strong.
that my top 4 is like a solid 4 that I really like as characters, and he was like my favorite of the rest.
That's how I felt with Iceman for me.
Yeah. But all right, John.
I'm going with Beast, another original X-Men. And then of course when originally he wasn't blue, he was just like he looked like a regular man, except he had like big feet and like a big body kind of. But then he got even cooler when he got blue and hairy. I just like him because he's strong. He can I love characters that move like animals, you know. I love like the way that he runs around and stuff. But then he's also like really smart, which is cool. It's kind of like you wouldn't expect it. It's kind of like,
Good combo.
yeah, like he's like, oh, you look at him and he's like an animal. You assume like he's not like very intelligent. He's like kind of like a savage or whatever. But no, he's actually like the smartest one of all of them. So it's
Kind of like a Hulk thing going on.
yeah, like
Yeah.
a Professor Hulk or
So
something.
he'll be like hanging upside down in like the lab with his
Yeah.
lab coat on and glasses, doing some
Yeah.
stuff.
They portrayed him well in both movies, I
I
thought.
think so
Yeah,
too.
definitely.
Both series. I mean, with the Kelsey Grammer one and the original
I
trilogy.
just don't like Kelsey Grammer.
I thought he played that. I thought he played him well.
I don't think he played him bad. I just don't like him. So
Kind of played him different. They kind of both had. He was more like an outside that came in,
I do like
established.
Nicholas Hoult.
But then the younger version of him was like he was more heavily involved.
Yeah, he had more feelings. He didn't want to be blue.
Sure.
He started to like it though later in the movies, didn't he? I don't remember actually.
Yeah,
I think he.
after-
Yeah, I think he did.
Mystique dies, right? Yeah, in the new one.
I
Yeah.
haven't seen
Well, in the last,
I
the
haven't
last
seen
one.
the
Yeah,
last one.
and he got good. Or he got good after that. Like he was accepting of his blueness after she died because she liked. She finally got over being blue.
I feel like the original one is more accurate, in my opinion, to the comic books, with his look and just the way that I would expect him to act. I don't know. It's my opinion, but I like.
Well, the newer
new
ones
one.
is kind of like them like growing up
Yeah.
and stuff. So like they had to deal
Becoming
with
mature,
becoming
yeah.
being mutants and stuff like that.
I mean, I like it all, but
Yeah. All right, Dan.
So my fifth one is Apocalypse,
Okay.
and I'm only going with this one for one reason. I like his power. I really don't care for him as like a character. If I had to pick one X-Men power to have, like if I was to be an X-Men, I wouldn't want to be a villain. I mean, if I was if I was
You
an
like
actor,
villains.
first off, I do. If I was an actor and I wanted a role, I would want to be a villain. Because I think the villains, I like portraying the villain. But when it comes to like, if I had to choose a power or a special, I mean, how can you beat Apocalypse? I mean, he just can just walk on, just destroy
He's picking,
anything.
like the most powerful person
I
is
know.
saying it.
That's like a
I
classic
know.
I know.
Dan,
It's a Dan
Dan
thing.
thing.
It's
They just
like,
to be
oh,
the
if I had to
power-
pick one power, I would pick like having all these powers at once.
Right. I mean, that's if I had to pick an ideal X-Men,
most
like
savage thing in that movie, he, like puts the guy in like the walls and stuff. He
yeah.
just like puts people
if I
in the
had
walls.
to create a Dan X-Men character for me, it would be a combination of Apocalypse looking more like Cyclops, and that would be my character. Those two meshed together with.
Well, did people didn't like that movie, right? Or
I didn't care.
I
I
don't
thought
think
it
it
was
got as
fine.
bad of reviews as like.
okay, Phoenix.
I mean,
the
I
other
think it
ones.
wasn't. It was like enough bad that people didn't watch the next one. Like I don't know.
Yeah, I think
many
they
people that watched
liked the one
next
before it a lot better.
I liked
Future
it.
Past one before it.
I didn't really think either one of them were that bad. I mean,
liked
either the Dark Phoenix one or the Apocalypse. I mean, the problem is you're going from Days of Future Past,
Yeah.
which is like it's gonna knock it out of the park. I mean, I'm just talking X-Men movies. It's gonna be by far the best X-Men movie. To then go to Apocalypse, it's just not. You're gonna lose a little. How can you ever match up with that? What?
I like Last Stand.
I do too. But when you look at the Days of Future Past, the star power of that movie between the both series, you're never going to equal it. So that's why Apocalypse, I don't think, matched up to. But that's a whole different conversation, I guess. But that'd be my character, only because I like the power. I don't really care much for the character. I didn't really care much for his villain.
Power.
He just has like the almost.
Say Oscar Isaac, cool guy, good actor.
I guess.
Okay.
So
Really,
we back
it's
to
all
me
just
now.
the
We're going
power.
back my way.
Sure.
Was that how we? I don't know. Is that how you do
That's
it?
not usually how we do it.
We're gonna
but
do it that
we
way.
can switch
Yeah,
it
sure.
up.
Number
Oh,
4.
okay.
I mean, I kind of just make it up as I go.
All right. I'm gonna agree with Dan on my number 4 and go with Iceman.
Oh.
Ooh.
I don't know how you can shut it. He's a true character. Not only is he true, he's a simple character.
Yeah.
He has an ice power. Like there's no like he's down to earth. He actually if you go back and look, he has a lot of key moments in all the films where he plays some significant roles and doesn't really kind of get the credit I think that he probably deserves. Is he even in the new one? In the new series? He's not even in like the newer series,
the
right?
new-
Only
movie,
the
yeah.
old actor in the
Yeah.
Yeah, he's only in like the first trilogy in the Days of Future Past. He's not in.
the younger version of him now.
I don't like that guy.
Well, I think he's great. Bobby, he's good.
I'm like,
Yeah, he's from something else too. I can't remember what
I
he's
don't
from.
remember- I don't even remember his name is.
He's
I don't
recognizable.
mind Iceman, but just to like put him that high for both of
cool,
your
though.
lists.
I'm more
I
of a
think,
fire guy than an ice guy.
and he destroyed the fire guy in the film.
Yeah, in Last Stand, I think he
tells him to go back to school and knocks him out with his
But
iceberg
that
of a
guy
head.
That guy
could only
sucked, though.
manipulate fire. He
He
couldn't
couldn't
actually
make
make it.
pyro.
So if you had like Human Torch,
Yeah,
who
we
would
have
win?
comics of that. I'm pretty sure Bobby Drake wins.
You
He
just
puts out the
saying that.
flame. I actually don't know.
I don't
I'm
know
pretty
what is
sure.
the logic in real life if you had a really extreme fire versus a really extreme ice.
Ice would take out fire. I'm pretty sure. It's not just ice is there. He's like putting the ice on top of the fire. It's different. He's like extinguishing.
Well, fire melts ice. Ice laying on top of fire would probably put it out too,
Yeah.
while melting the. I mean, it's kind of. It really is a hard argument to put together. You could argue that fire literally, if you have an ice wall, fire will take down the ice wall.
I like fire too. I
But
like
you
fire
had a
better.
firewall, then ice would take that down.
It's true. Like you can make an argument for either way.
I think it's whoever is more powerful, the character.
Half were fire.
We're
than
fire
ice.
guys. Yeah.
Ice.
Although you are
I know, we're different for Mortal
a
Kombat.
Sub-Zero guy.
Yeah,
I
I
am
do
a
like Sub. He
Sub-Zero
is my
guy.
favorite Sub-Zero.
I am a
So
Sub-Zero
you're a
guy.
true ice guy.
I know, I like
I like
Captain
They're
Cold, though.
split.
I know,
I
but
am
that's
split.
this
I
different
don't think I
story in
like
Mortal
either of
Kombat.
them. So,
You just said you like fire.
yeah, I'm saying it's between Scorpion and
Yeah, but
Sub-Zero.
they're different characters there. Not the same thing.
Well, like
But-
in Avatar, the Fire Nation is my favorite nation too. Not that there's an Ice Nation, but
I'm more of a
Waterbender.
more of a water nation.
That's-
I like
Seems
Earth.
closer to
I'm more of an
ice.
Earthbender
Yeah.
guy.
So that means I'm not true either.
yeah.
No, I'm not a
True ice.
comics guy. I'm judging most of mine off of the movies. So, I mean, I feel like Iceman plays a significant role.
I've
I think he's
never-
a staple.
Yeah, I will say that. So you're basing most off the movies. Would you say you're
Split.
basing? You're split.
Combination.
You're split, and I'm probably basing most of mine off of the X-Men cartoons that I watched. I've never really read. I know things that happen in the comics. I've never read them, and I've watched all the movies. I watched the shows. I like the cartoons. John?
For my number 4, I'm picking Juggernaut. So
Juggernaut.
I think I feel like a lot of this has to do with like what he looks like. I think he looks really cool, but it was like what you were saying about Colossus. Like he's just a big, cool, like strong guy. Obviously, I like his powers too. He's strong. He's a cool villain where he just runs head first through things. I mean, how cool is that? You know, like you would not want to be anywhere near that guy in real life. He's just like running through buildings, like doesn't care or feel it. You know, he can go toe to toe with people like the Hulk and Colossus and Wolverine, and he's just an animal. You know,
See, I kind of find his power boring. You know, all you can do is
super
run.
strength.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why. Like, I don't feel like. I don't know if. I don't. To me, it's like, is that like a cool power? I don't know.
I think he's just someone to create damage. Like you
Yeah.
have like some other
He's a
villains too, and it's like,
destruction.
oh, he's running around destroying everything. We got to stop these guys, and he's
Yeah,
there too.
I mean, he fits his role perfectly.
Yeah,
He's not a good
appreciate
villain
it
to be
as a rival
him,
to
though.
Colossus to just create some big big fights.
I do like him in the movies, though. He's pretty good.
I just like when he says, "I'm the Juggernaut."
Colossus
Yeah. I'm the
in the
Juggernaut.
comics.
He has another word
gets,
after
like
it.
the Juggernaut
Yeah.
armor.
Bitch.
at
Am
one
I allowed to
point.
say that?
Yeah.
Did you know that? Colossus gets the Juggernaut armor in the comics.
Unstoppable Colossus, what he's
Pretty
called.
sweet.
So it's like Colossus, but then it's like he's wearing Juggernaut armor, but it's in like the colors of Colossus.
What does that even matter?
He's more powerful.
It's like Juggernaut gets.
Isn't the helmet just for
no,
like
Juggernaut gets his
antis-
powers from like this like stone
It's
or
like a
something.
ruby. He gives you
And,
more strength too.
like, he doesn't actually. He's not immune. He doesn't have powers. So like all his powers comes from that. So like if
So you're saying is
Colossus had-
technically he can't be on your list because he's not immune.
no, we said
It's
X-Men universe.
characters.
What universe would he belong to?
Well, I did say mutant at the beginning too, but that's obviously.
But yes,
not
that
what makes,
made
but that's
Unstoppable
your
Colossus
Dan
is a
King.
lot more powerful than regular Colossus. Beat
Okay.
the Thing in that comic.
I
Stupid.
liked Juggernaut.
Yeah.
He's a cool guy.
Just like Colossus more. All right, my number 4, probably gonna fall. I'd assume most of you have him on your list, probably higher than me. Is Magneto, just cool guy. I think if I was a mutant and I had to fall into one faction, I think I might lean to Magneto's Brotherhood over the X-Men.
Oh my God.
I think I would be extremely hateful to normies, to humans.
I have to say, Magneto is incredibly powerful. I feel like other people that have, like, he doesn't have telekinesis. He has, like, sort of a telekinesis towards metal, but I feel like it's almost more powerful than people with telekinesis because it's like he can feel the metal, too. Like, if you shot him with, like, a gun or something, he would sense it from, like, really far away and just be able to stop it.
It just, in all the movies, the most badass scenes are
Him lifting
Magneto.
stuff
Like
up.
him,
Yeah.
just like epic things of him like doing that, like the whole thing shaking, some epic music, or like bullets are at him and he like stops them and then like looks over and like shoots the bullets back at people, like
Yeah, that
or
is
him in
sweet.
freaking Auschwitz, like going crazy
Yeah.
in there. Just a sweet character, probably one of the best villains.
You gotta
in
feel
all
bad
of-
for him, too, because just like you said, he was in Auschwitz, and it was kind of like the comics were supposed to represent like prejudice towards people, like with mutants and stuff, and he like finally he was like in America and he's supposed to be like accepted and normal, but then it turns out that everyone has prejudice towards mutants too, so it's like he felt like he had to stop it before it got to that point, you know?
Yeah, and he's not like bad all the time. You know, it's
Yeah.
more of that created his evilness. So he's kind of a relatable
and he's
character.
proven right in the
Yeah.
with the Sentinels and stuff like that.
I feel like when you write his power down on a piece of paper, you would look at it and go,
Yeah,
like that's I don't want that type of. But then when you actually
Yeah.
see the destruction he causes, like he can
Yeah.
like literally just destroy anything. I mean, like if you sit there and goes, he can control, manipulate metal, iron. It's just like okay, whatever.
No one would ever
why would I
pick
want
that
that?
as the
Like,
power.
like that. No, that's cool. And then you actually go see what you can actually do with that. Like
Yeah.
I like.
I
it.
agree. I think he's probably one of the top villains in all of like comics / like superhero movie universe type deals. Probably one of the best ones. So, but he does fall in at number 4 for me.
Okay, so this might be a little low for certain people's lists also, but I have Wolverine as number 4. His first appearance in X-Men Giant Size number 1 with Colossus, Storm, and Nightcrawler all joining the team together. By far the most popular X-Men character. He's been on the Avengers. He's just super cool, you know. He's got a healing factor. He's got adamantium claws. Just an amazing character, you know. Like, you can't not put him on your list. And his personality is great, too.
Of course, I love Wolverine.
Yeah.
I feel like Wolverine, especially in the movies, is probably you could make an argument that he's the most recognizable superhero from like movies. Like if you see Hugh Jackman, you're like, oh, there's Wolverine.
He fits the character well.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like
I mean,
obviously, like there's
He looks
Superman,
like one.
Batman, Spider-Man, Iron Man, like. But like if you just saw like pictures, like he's up there with like Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man, like.
Look, if you had to name the 10 most recognizable superheroes of Marvel or DC, then he's got to be on the list.
Yeah, especially just like actor to role like
Mm-hmm.
type deal. I feel like it might be like Iron Man and then Wolverine would be probably the top
But
two.
Heath Ledger as villain. Joker.
I guess, but people like Heath Ledger from like other movies though.
I
Like,
guess.
what's that one? like rom-com
I've never seen
movie.
that.
You know what I'm talking about?
I know what you're
Yeah.
talking about. I've never
Like when you
seen
see
that.
Robert Downey Jr., you think Iron Man.
Yeah.
When you see Hugh Jackman, you think Wolverine.
Like you could see Henry Cavill in like maybe not thinking Superman. Like Ben Affleck, you're probably not thinking Batman.
No.
Like Christian Bale, you're probably not thinking Batman. I mean, maybe, but
I mean, Henry Cavill, some people could say The Witcher.
Yeah.
I mean, he's
been in,
not
like plenty of movies, and like it's not like
maybe
he doesn't have,
Captain
like, a
America.
distinct, I guess, but like
Human
he
Torch.
was
He was human.
he's
He
also
was
been in other
things.
movies as well. Yeah, like I mean, they've obviously all been in other movies, but yeah, Robert Downey and Hugh Jackman are like
And it's interesting because Hugh
instantly, I
Jackman
think, of the character.
like is actually in a lot of stuff, and he
Yeah.
does like plays and stuff too. So
But I mean, like like he's been in the role for so long.
Yeah.
Like
I also feel like Patrick Stewart may be in that role, even though he has a lot. You
Star
can see him
Trek.
from others, but when I see Patrick Stewart, maybe just because I'm an X-Men fan, I automatically think of the Professor.
I think that's tough because I would agree, but he's also so synonymous with Star Trek
True.
that's still it would be like 50-50. But yeah, I would agree that those two are probably the top.
so
That was his.
is he going
So
again, then?
you're up at number 3.
Okay, so we just said this. We're gonna go Magneto.
Okay.
He's just like, even just in Marvel in general, you'd have to put him up pretty high for characters. He's so powerful, so relatable. He's got a great story. Such a cool thing with him and Professor X too. How like they're together at first, and then like they saw things differently, so they went their own ways. He had more of an approach to take vengeance and fight for mutants. I guess they're both fighting for mutants, but in different ways.
Like he
Peaceful
thinks
way,
it's
or-
more of like they should just live separately.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like what he thinks
Where-
too. If they don't fight back, then people will just like extinguish them, like cast them away. So he wants to fight for their freedom and their.
From what like all the movies and shows, like there's no way if I was just like a mutant, like I was just like a normal, like not a super high end, like crazy one, and I'm just doing my thing, and everyone like hates me now that I'm a mutant.
Yeah,
and
these
I had
giant
two
robots
options.
running
Yeah,
around.
if I had two options, one's idiot Professor X and one's cool Magneto.
Okay, they do bad
I'm
stuff
definitely-
too, though. You're not
yeah,
gonna want
but-
to do all the bad.
Okay, but
stuff.
what are they doing?
I mean, some of the people that. Okay, I don't think Magneto's super bad, but some of the people that he accepts in his group sometimes just create chaos just for fun.
I'm just saying that I'm probably joining the Brotherhood. Like I don't think that I see Professor X like he's the least charismatic person of all time.
Just imagine like
Magneto is so cool.
you didn't even look like a human, Like imagine like you had such a mutation that like you couldn't go anywhere without people hating you.
The Beast.
Yeah.
get even worse than that too. But yeah, I mean, you could join the Avengers. It'd be a cool group to join. Beast.
Why would you
Wolverine.
join the Avengers when if you're gonna join one, you join the X-Men, which is the people that know how to teach you, but
I don't know, just cool people to hang around with.
But yeah, I don't know. I like Magneto.
Okay, up to you then.
Number 3. So my number 3 is Nightcrawler.
Kurt Wagner.
Like I said, I just am mainly most of my X-Men bias comes from the cartoons, and it's a lot of it's like I would say they're like coming of age cartoons, like we're mostly in like high school and stuff, and they're like he's in like the younger wave of the mutants of the X-Men, and he's just sweet. Yeah, he's got a sweet accent. Kurt. He's just like and his power is pretty cool too. Like he's always teleporting, swinging around with his tail. Like he's like a little monkey that can teleport, and has a cool. And he's in the cartoon. He has like I forget who it is, Beast or someone gives him like a little thing where he can turn not blue, and he's like cool in the school, like dancing around. Just a cool guy all around. A big Nightcrawler guy.
I love Nightcrawler too. Great character. Like one of the cooler powers too, like teleporting. He can travel pretty far distances. If someone's like falling, he can go save him quick, teleport back up.
It does. He does creep me out a little in the movies, like the way he looks.
The
but
original version, they have him younger too, don't they?
I think so. Yeah. They like find him somewhere. Like
Yeah, Alan Cumming did a good job portraying him
that's who played him.
in the original
The original
trilogy.
ones,
Yeah.
they go into like the church and he's like up top, or like he breaks
yeah.
into like the White House and he's like
Yeah.
beating people up.
He's only in that one, right? In the original, he's not in
I think it's
multiple.
the last.
Yeah, he's in.
It's
Yeah.
just that one. Is it Last Stand? It's either second or third one. I don't remember.
Yeah. I'll wait till my number 2 to say something else.
Yeah, he's in Last Stand.
He's okay, in my opinion.
Okay.
I find him average, to be honest. I'm not a big
So you
Nightcrawler
guys are-
fan,
You guys are mid-tier Nightcrawler fans.
but I don't know.
C-tier. All right, John.
Okay, for number 3, I'm going with Storm. So, again, she was one of the... What was the comic in?
It's giant size.
So she came in with the giant size people, which is Wolverine, Colossus, Nightcrawler.
Wolverine, Thunderbird. Actually, Banshee's already on the team, but Thunderbird is there too.
I just think that, first of all, her powers are really cool. I mean, having control of the weather is probably one of the most powerful powers that you could possibly ever have. But then I just like...
Pretty good argument for Flash. Have a pretty powerful villain then, doesn't he?
No, those people don't actually have the powers, first
Oh,
of all.
he doesn't? Weather Wizard?
No, they don't actually. And they're not as powerful. If Storm was against Weather Wizard, who would win? She would just freaking use a wind and knock the freaking thing out of his hand, and then he'd be dead.
New 52, he has the actual power.
Okay,
So.
that's dumb. Anyways, she's also she's like one of the older like teachers, and she's like a good mentor, and she's always like looking after people, you know, like a nice person that's there for you, and
Married to
I
Black
mean-
Panther.
yeah,
I like her way more than Professor X as a teacher.
yeah.
Sorry if you guys have Professor X on your list, but and I like her name, Aurora. That's cool.
Yeah.
It's a good pick. I like that. I like Storm. Storm, she has a I mean, based off of the movie, she has a very, very strong purpose. Like, she's basically running the school
Yeah.
in the
She's
absence of
basically-
Professor X or in the absence of
The
Cyclops or
cartoons, too,
anyone.
right?
Yep, she's pretty cool in the cartoons.
Yeah.
Looks cool, too.
Yep.
Halle Berry does pretty good.
Definitely does look cool with the hair and stuff.
It's cool when she has a mohawk, too. You guys seen that?
In the newer movies.
The newer movie, she has a mohawk, right? Yeah, I think at the
Yeah.
end.
I know in the comics, she's like mohawk, like leather jacket. Looks sweet.
That's kind of how they did her in the newer ones.
I think that she does in Apocalypse, she makes her debut, right? Yeah, she has a mohawk on it.
I feel like if she was against a lot of the X-Men, she would beat a lot of them.
No.
She's definitely pretty strong.
Your pick?
So I'm going to kind of go right off of you a little bit. I had a tough decision here between Storm and Jean Grey. And I said, which female I think leads the X-Men? And I went with Jean Grey. So, and just for a lot of different reasons. I think her power is undefinable. It's kind of hard to write out a description of what her power is. Because it's like, she kind of just do anything, really. I mean, it's just kind of like...
likes.
What's that?
Likes those.
Yeah,
That's
it's
what you
powerful.
like.
you can do any. I mean, but in the movie, though, does it really? The original trilogy, does it really define like what she just her power? She just does anything. They just put her in doing all these different things at any time. Like there's really no description of what her power is. I mean, maybe in the comic books they identify it a little bit more, but like based off of the movies, like it's kind of just like, oh, she can just do anything, you know, like she can read people's minds, she can move this over here, she can do that. Like it's just like you don't know. But I like how she was a major player in the X-Men and then kind of moved into the Dark Phoenix. I like she almost has two. I mean, she does. There's
Yeah.
two different characters.
Dark
Yeah.
Phoenix.
I
I like
mean-
how she kills Cyclops.
But
my favorite part.
I mean, when I look at maybe so much. My favorite, but also when I look at what the characters do, having two unique characters in one, I think is pretty. Like, there's not many other people that
She's a
have.
very like torn person. Like it's sweet when she's like corrupted, kind of.
When she's
Phoenix
corrupted, she's
Force.
a clearly different personality and a clearly
It's cool.
different figure.
Yeah,
But
you made the right choice.
well, I mean, I was going between the two of them. Like, which one that helps the X-Men more?
I think
Storm.
you made the wrong choice.
Not-
One of them is just someone that's dependable and you can count on all the time. And then the
Oh,
other
I agree
one
with that.
kills half the universe.
Oh, I agree with
Yeah,
that. I agree with that.
Sweet, powerful
If I wanted
person.
one to be friends with and then look up to, I pick Storm. But I'm talking with which one has more of a like
unlimited power.
More
has
of a
more-
purpose in the universe,
Yeah,
I
like, she
think,
does
that
more,
brings
like-
the story along more.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly would prefer Storm, but I felt like Jean Grey kind of when putting up my favorites, kind of. I feel like she's done a little bit more for the franchise anyway.
Yeah.
Okay, you got number 2 now.
Number 2, I'm gonna go with Magneto. I know it's already been discussed.
Just to say, I also picked Magneto, just so we can,
As your
so we
number
can
two.
tag do
Tag
it
team.
together. I
mean,
did Magneto. So
We
I'm
all
gonna-
have Magneto on our list at some point.
I'm gonna
Yes.
jump off the main argument. He's probably clearly one of the best. I mean, X-Men, you could argue all-time villains, but like obviously in
Definitely,
X-Men,
yeah.
he's definitely one of the best villains. I feel like he kind of, even though he's a villain, he has his own purpose that kind of makes him not a villain.
Yeah.
That he's at the end of the day really stepping up for the mutants. I really, really, really like his character in Days of Future Past. I like how he kind of comes in alliance with Professor X and kind of works with the. I think that would probably out of Days of Future Past, he's probably my favorite character in that movie, just because of you build up 3 movies of him being the villain, and then he jumps in and he's working with the X-Men, and you kind of see more of what he stands for. And not to mention, you could my main argument is his power.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he
but-
definitely like doesn't want to hurt any of the mutants.
No.
Like even if they're on like the X-Men and stuff, like
Yeah.
he will like fight them, but he's not trying to like kill them or anything. Like he likes all mutants. I'm a big Michael Fassbender guy though. I like the new Magneto too.
No,
He's
see, I like
sweet.
the.
I mean, I like
they're
the old
both
one,
good.
Ian Kellen.
I think they both do it perfect, which is really, you think about it, soon the X-Men is probably going to be in the MCU, and you have to think that all of these characters are going to have new actors, and
Yeah.
I just don't know how well other people will live up to these people.
Yeah, I kind of hope that Michael Fassbender will be Magneto still, because like that would give him so much opportunity to like when he's probably like 40 right now, and like he like could be like if he's like 60 in like 20 years, he could still be playing Magneto, just like the older version.
Yeah,
of it,
because
you know?
Magneto's old, so
like
it
it'd be
doesn't matter.
sweet. Like if they just continue.
They're definitely
on
going
it.
to keep somebody.
I
I
hope
don't know
that-
who it is, but they're
have-
definitely going to
just
keep
for-
one person.
for cameo purpose, like shock value purpose. They have to keep some people.
Mm-hmm.
Like
I
they
mean-
might in the Doctor Strange, they might throw in like a Hugh Jackman Wolverine. I don't think it'll actually be in the universe, but he could be in like a timeline and like cameo him. But if continuity wise, I hope that they keep him.
I mean, they have some huge shoes to fill. When you're talking the Professor with Patrick Stewart or Ian McKellen playing the Magneto, or even the younger guys. I mean, that's a lot of you can't fill Wolverine.
Well, it's just to be a part. Like I guess like
They'll
some
have
people,
to.
some people are
They
like
want 'em.
just to be a part of the MCU though. That's so like lucrative, like money wise and recognition wise, like career wise. Like, and Michael Fassbender's like a pretty big actor. Like, I feel like why wouldn't he want to do that?
Well, they're all. I mean, you look at what's her face
Sophie
doing
Turner,
Jean Grey. I don't know because that movie was so bad. Apparently, I didn't
Yeah.
mind it, the Dark Phoenix one, but it was just so bad.
Yeah.
I think it was more
They
like
did it weird.
I think it was more of how they promoted the show.
Yeah.
Well, I saw online that her hair is dyed again. So
I mean,
Getting
she's
ready.
She's like a perfect person, especially they're going like with a lot of like the younger, like they're doing the Haley Steinfeld Hawkeye. Like they're kind of bringing in like a young, like teeny,
so they can have him again.
yeah, like
for
a
a while.
teenage generation. So like she would Sophie Turner would kind of fit perfectly in with like a Haley Steinfeld Hawkeye. Like
Now, random question: do you think? Let's assume they make an appearance in Doctor Strange. Do you think they keep them all?
No.
No.
You think they make a
I think they're
bold-
getting new
I'm gonna
X-Men
be
too.
interested to see if they like if they do keep Sophie Turner, they like retcon like the Dark Phoenix.
I think
movie
that if they
or-
keep them,
because this could
they're
be
gonna
multiple
be different
universe.
versions
Yeah.
of them. So I wouldn't even doubt it if they brought them in and then they had the same actor playing two characters in Doctor Strange, so that the audience can separate them. Be like, oh, this is her from the movies that you've seen, and then this is like an older, different version that it's like. So you can be like, oh, they're actually technically different people or
Yeah.
something.
I don't know which because it's gonna be tough. Like which ones it wouldn't be any of the older people. I wouldn't think.
See, that was my
they
next
could
question.
be in the movie. I don't think they'll be full universe moving forward ones.
That was my next question. If any of them are in the movie, and let's say, what universe do you think they go with? The original trilogy or the younger one?
Well, I don't think that they'll use the original trilogy as the main ones because, like, the X-Men theoretically should be a huge part of the upcoming MCU.
You would think so.
Like, Fantastic Four and X-Men should be like a main focus, especially when they're moving on from like the main tier, like original name heroes. Like, obviously they'll have like an Iron Man type character, but it's not like Tony Stark. Like, so they'll still have like that type of character, but so like I feel like those are gonna be the main people. I mean, I could
Or
see like the
Fantastic
old,
Four,
yeah,
Mr. Fantastic.
yeah, but I'm saying Fantastic Four and X-Men should be like the main ones. Like, you know, like,
It's a tough question for whoever's making
like
that
Reed
judgment
Richards
call.
theoretically should be leading probably like the Avengers type. Like
Do
he should
we
probably be
think
like, the
that
main
the
head
Fantastic
person,
Four
no?
are going to come from a different universe, or do we think that it's going to show their origin within the main universe?
I think they'll be probably within the main universe, and then X-Men might come from.
Yeah.
Because they have more.
Well, that's what
background.
I was thinking. So obviously, I've never read the House of M comic, but I've heard you tell me about it. Dave was telling me about it a little bit. Do you think they'll reverse it, like do a reverse House of M, like where she creates all mutants in like Doctor Strange? That's what I'm sitting on right now.
Then how do you have Wolverine?
I don't think
In
she
the
creates
movie?
him.
Yeah.
Well, it could be a different universe. I just mean in this universe. Like she,
Um.
because you guys haven't watched the WandaVision show.
No.
So like in WandaVision, she creates like her whole little
Yeah,
like,
her
town.
whole, like-
She has kids in it. Like she creates them and creates Vision. At the end, she fights Agatha Harkness, and like it all kind of. She realizes that she has to like destroy all of it, and she does, and the kids get like warped away. I don't know where they go. But she can like hear them like in her head, like saying like "Mom, like help us." And
Yeah, but is
stuff
she
like
really
that.
like the type of character that would create all mutants?
But she has like the power to
Yeah.
theoretically. And then at the end of the show, she's like, it shows her like in this cabin, like in the woods, kind of like what it showed in Doctor Strange in that trailer. She's like sitting on her porch, and then she's like astral projecting herself, and she's like in the back of the house, like in her full like Scarlet Witch like garb, like reading some like huge like incantation book, like doing like these weird like spell thing, kind of look like Doctor Strange when he's doing like the
Yeah,
like thing in Avengers. So like theoretically, like if she's with Doctor Strange, this new movie, like who knows what's going on there? They're like
I
in
think
some
it's definitely
crazy
going to be
places.
introducing a bunch of characters regardless.
Yeah, like I think that they could reverse it and be like, okay, she just acts because that
Yeah.
would solve like the her being a mutant type thing too. Like she
Yeah.
could just become one as well. Like I don't know.
Uh,
That's kind of where I'm
interesting theory.
It's
But-
a tough decision, whatever they end up doing.
Yeah.
Because I feel
Probably
like
already know
that's.
what they're going to do.
I mean,
Well, yeah.
those are some pretty big characters that all of a sudden just put new people
What's
out
tough
there.
because
you know?
like some of them like they like a lot of them died in the movie, you know, like the original
Sure.
ones, like the Jean Grey's dead.
No, they're
Cyclops
not.
dead. Didn't Wolverine kill Jean Grey at the end in
Yeah.
Last
No,
Stand?
They came back in Days of
after
Future
Days
Past.
because they fixed everything.
Oh,
They
He's, like,
basically-
walking through the house,
yeah.
they're all like saying, "Hey, Logan."
oh yeah.
They basically wiped out everything that happened in 1, 2, and
Oh,
3
yeah.
with Days of Future Past.
So I could see, but they've already kind of used that then with that Days of Future's Past. They've used that card of the old ones, right? I guess it'd be cool again, like to see.
I
them,
think
like-
it's going to be
Yeah,
a lot of
yeah.
new people.
But which ones are even that recognizable from the old ones, other than like Magneto and
See,
Professor
I
X?
think if they do...
Like, is Jean Grey really that recognizable?
Who?
The old, like,
Mhm.
Anthony Jensen?
I think so.
It just,
I
like...
mean, they could make a new.
But you gotta
actor,
think, like,
so.
the majority of the audience for, like, Marvel is probably, what, like, 20 to 35?
Well, see, here's my thinking. My thinking is if they're going to keep anybody from the X-Men universe and throw them into the Marvel, the original trilogy is currently the current version. Like, that's current time, technically. The other trilogy kind of goes back
Yeah.
in time. So I feel like it wouldn't make any sense to have Doctor Strange all them in the current time and have like Sophia Turner, whose character is really in the 80s, come in. It's
Yeah.
kind of like the time frame does it. So I almost feel like they have to go with the original trilogy.
I bet it's just going to be new people.
It could be just
If I
new
had to
people.
bet
Like,
money
if
on it.
I would probably want it to be new people.
Yeah.
I'd like cameo type thing.
Or just be safe and go with Hugh Jackman, who's just like in every universe. Like you just,
Yeah.
they just be safe and do that.
Yeah, the only thing I could see is Sophie Turner as Jean Grey, just because like it seems like an actor they'd like a popular, like she's just popular celebrity. I don't know.
She's the reason why the movie failed, the last one.
True. What?
Said you're number 2. I'm getting a little sidetracked.
My number 2, Kitty Pryde. This also ties into my X-Men show liking. It's just Kitty Pryde and Nightcrawler are just like a sweet tandem in the show. Like they're always getting into trouble. They're getting into some mischief.
Isn't Kitty Pryde with Colossus?
Yeah, but that doesn't have to do with what he's saying.
No, I'm just saying like in the show, like they're the youngest ones that like join, and they're like just always joking around, pranking people. Like they're just classic teenage troubles they're getting into. and she got some sweet powers. She's just like a very cool character. She's got her little dragon, Lockheed. Like she's just all around cool character. I feel like very underrated character. And again, I haven't read a lot of the comics, but I do like to, one of my things that John and Dan know is I like to brush up on my history on like Wikipedias or like the Marvel Wikias and stuff like that. So I've read a lot of like the storylines. Seems like she's a very important character to the X-Men universe. Like I'd argue she's probably like a top 5 important character. And I also feel like a lot of people don't even know who she is that even have watched the X-Men movies.
It's weird because like the character of like Rogue in like the original series is really what like Kitty Pryde is. Like Rogue was a villain for a while. She didn't have that role at all, and for some reason they wanted Rogue to be like that young girl like coming into the school, like getting like
to what like I've come to is like Kitty Pryde basically becomes like the leader of all of them. Like
she's pretty important
after a certain point in time. So yeah, I would argue that she's probably one of the most important people in the universe, and that no one even knows who she is.
I don't know. There's a lot of people in the universe, but
I don't know how I feel about this pick.
But would you agree that very underrated? Like, does anyone like if you polled like 20 people that in an X-Men theater for like when the new movie comes out, say, do you think they would even know Kitty Pryde?
I would say she's a nobody.
Yeah.
My honest opinion.
Like
Before we just had this conversation, you were saying, well, where you rank her? I was like, well, she's not even like the top 20.
Yeah, we had a Kitty Pryde pop out on the floor, and it was there for 3 months. And I was like, why is no one buying this? Kitty Pryde's sweet.
But I'm also not surprised you would pick her.
You should have got it.
Not surprised at all.
Should have. Yeah.
Yeah, have Lockheed.
Yeah.
Like on the shoulder or something.
Just on the ground next to her.
Okay, that's so cool.
But yeah, I would argue that she's pretty sweet, and she's very underrated character. Number 2.
Okay, so my number 2 is Sabertooth, Wolverine's big foe. He's very powerful. He's faster, stronger, more ruthless than Wolverine. Doesn't have adamantium, so that kind of makes him a little worse sometimes. But he just like, it's one of those characters. He doesn't even like care really what's happening. He's kind of just trying to do chaos. Yeah. He's always after revenge on Wolverine, just trying to like make his life suck. Like the comic where it's like, I think not his first appearance, but like every year on Wolverine's birthday, he just like comes out and like attacks him. Wolverine didn't even know who he was because he like lost his memory, but Sabertooth knew who he was.
in the movies, like, they're supposed to be brothers, but I think in the comic books you don't really know how they're related.
Yeah, in, like, Origin, I
think that they're related
kind of makes it seem like he's, like, his uncle or something. Like, Sabretooth's older.
Yeah.
It's kind of what they make it seem like. It doesn't ever say exactly, but, you know, they came from, like, the same town and, like...
Yeah, they're both, like, really old and they have the same powers, so clearly there's a connection between the two and they hate each other.
Yeah.
I think Sabertooth is sweet in Origins. I kind of don't like him in the original trilogy. He looks weird.
Yeah.
And that's what he actually
looks
I know, but I don't like how he looks.
But yeah, I think...
I like Sabertooth too. Great villain. One thing you said about him being faster and stronger, you know, Wolverine, if he didn't have the adamantium slowing him down,
You're just...
you know, Wolverine becomes a lot more savage too.
All right, so what? Now we're going with our
worst trash pick.
X-Men character to you. You can explain it however you want. Like, it could be someone that you just think stinks, someone you hate the actor, actress of, you don't like their powers.
Okay, so this might be a little controversial. I'm going to go Professor X. I really like him in the movies. He obviously has amazing powers as well, but just in the comics he's kind of a jerk most of the time. He does a lot of like things that like aren't cool. Like there's this one comic I read where before like Wolverine and Storm and all those people joined the team, he originally had a different team. Cyclops is on it, and like all the members died, and Professor X just like wiped Cyclops' memory of it just so that he would not remember that his whole team got killed. There's other times when he like when Jean Grey was young, he like put a block in her mind so that she couldn't use all her powers, which ended up making it worse for her when she got older. He's just like, the way he talks to the X-Men too, just kind of like controlling and kind of a jerk.
Yeah, he stinks.
Yeah,
that's why I would never be
good
on his
powers
team.
though. Obviously, very powerful.
You know, in his defense, he does have to read everyone's memory or their minds all the time. Maybe they're saying bad things about him.
Yes.
Professor X sucks.
The only time I ever liked Professor X is in the Logan movie when he's like old and like dying. But he just is. He's like that was a good acting job by Patrick Stewart. Like it's cool. Like time with him going like crazy and I don't know. It's cool.
Yeah.
I agree.
I get to
I
pick.
don't like him.
I don't like him,
Yeah.
but it's not my worst.
I'm not a big Professor fan.
I'm not, but my worst is Jubilee. They just, for some reason, they just, like the movie writers, like everyone just loves Jubilee. They have to throw her in like every
She
single
looks cool.
X-Men project they've ever done, like the movies, the shows, the anything. She never does anything. She's just there. She literally is just there, like, oh, hey, like, what's going on? Like, she doesn't do anything.
Kind of like Martian Manhunter.
No. Martian Manhunter's the leader.
They just throw him in just to make
Like,
the
oh, look
fans
at that
happy.
guy back there.
No.
That's cool.
Jubilee sucks. She literally never does anything. Tell me one thing that she's done. You can go deep into comics. I'm sure she's done something in there. In any of the shows, any of the movies, she's just like the one that's like, oh, like let's go into town and go shopping.
Yeah, let's
like,
go to the mall.
yeah, like that's like all she does. She doesn't do anything. She
Yeah,
stinks.
I can't
Just
say
fair
wants to be a
point.
normal
like,
person.
And like that's fine. Like she can do whatever she wants. But like the fact that they have to put her in every X-Men project that they do is just it must be like a bit that they have going. I can't see any other way why they're putting her in there.
That could be true, actually.
It's a bit. But yeah, it's my
Let's
worst.
throw
John.
Jubilee in there.
I know some people at the table might be upset by this pick. I'm gonna go with Cyclops as my worst pick.
I thought you were gonna say something different for a
No,
second. forgot.
I feel similar way about Cyclops that you feel about Professor X. I feel like he's not like that nice. I feel like he's controlling. I know he's supposed to be like the leader type, but he seems controlling to me. Whereas those powers are not that cool.
Yeah,
Like,
how
oh, he
stink.
just
No, but
lifts
he's-
his glasses
I think
up.
you're wrong about him. He's good at fighting too, hand-to-hand combat.
Okay,
And as for like being a jerk, I think sometimes in the movies he seemed kind of like a jerk to Wolverine, but in the comics he's not really like a jerk like
okay.
that.
There's
Professor
a comic
X is.
book where all of the X-Men get the Phoenix Force, and they
Like
basically
this,
change the whole world. And then he eventually ends up with it by himself, and all the X-Men are telling him like, you should like give that up, like you shouldn't have it. And he just wants the control. So
because
no,
it warps your mind. It's like Green Lantern
It warps your mind, John.
with Parallax.
I'm not
You
going to
can't
defend
stop
him.
that.
Okay?
See, as it comes to the movies, I think he's a funny jerk in the movies. I think he's like, it's kind of funny.
Well, in like the first ones, it's just the classic
Oh, him and
love
Logan.
triangle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can't really blame it there. It's just most people like Wolverine, so they don't like Cyclops. It just like falls into line.
Yeah.
Like you kind of have to choose one. You know?
Even if he wasn't a jerk and he wasn't the leader, if he was just a background character, he just wouldn't be cool. There's nothing about him that's cool. There's nothing.
Yeah, in theory, Cyclops is cool just because he's like the leader. Like he's like the cool
Yeah,
guy.
that's
like
why.
the
He's like walking
That's
down
the only
class
reason
and
he's
someone
cool.
knocks his glasses off. He's like moving his head and
The powers
everywhere.
Close his eyes.
you could debate.
Why does that always happen? How come he can never just close his eyes?
I don't think Ken. Oh yeah, he can.
Do they do that in the comic books a lot, where people just walk by and they knock his glasses and?
No,
Yeah,
he
I mean,
usually
most
has
of
a
the time
big
he's older.
visor thing
No,
on.
he gets that when he's older. When he goes to, he doesn't wear that out. He wears the red glasses. Yeah, it happens. Gets knocked off. He's like,
How long would it take you to close your eyes?
Well, if someone I saw their hand come, I'd probably close my eyes instantly. But I don't know.
I can see a Wolverine Cyclops rift. I can see how that could be something that people feel. Dan?
Well, let's go right into that, because
Okay.
the one I don't like is probably Wolverine.
Okay.
Only because you could argue, because I'm a Cyclops fan, that those two always
would.
kind of have a. I just kind of feel like I like. Let me put it this way. I like Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. I like what he does with the character. I just feel like everything X-Men revolves around Wolverine. Like it's just kind of like every Wolverine. It's just like it's all like Wolverine, and I don't know. I don't feel like he's that cool of a character. I don't think. Like even back when I was a kid, like I was just like, oh wow, the guy has claws. Like before I watch any of the movies or anything, you get the little action figures.
I'm
You
pretty
don't really know
impartial
the.
to Wolverine.
I didn't really have the backstory of the character. And I'm like, oh wow, this guy just has weird pointed hair and claws. Like, you didn't really know anything about the character. And then you go watch the movies, you learn more. I mean, or if you go back and read the comics, I'm like I said, I'm more of a movie guy. But I don't know. I don't. To me, Wolverine is just like everywhere. Like you're talking about how I mean, I just feel like he's in like everything. Like Doctor Strange. He'll be the one character they bring back. How about we bring back someone else? Like, does it need to be Hugh Jackman like every time? Does it need to be Wolverine?
Moneymaker.
I mean, but there's like it's everything's about.
I do agree that he's very.
Like he's the focus of every movie.
Yeah, I would say overrated just because like I'm not saying he's bad. He's like good. He's cool. He just is just overused a lot.
And it kind of goes into my number one pick too, but it's the reason why I don't like him is.
Why don't you spin that right around to your number one?
All right, so my number one is Cyclops.
Yep.
So this whole we set this up perfectly for this.
Okay, I have to say that my number one is Wolverine.
Oh, okay.
I've been trying to keep my mouth.
And the reason the reason why I don't like Wolverine so much is because all the movies are about Wolverine, and they shit all over Cyclops.
They do.
They just like the guy is like a classic X-Men character from like rather it's the comics. I mean, he's a classic X-Men character. I mean, how can you not look at that and say that's not a true original looking character? That is like when you look at that Cyclops in that uniform.
Cool.
That's like in the movies, they just treat him. He's like a little.
In the movies.
He's like a little bitch in the movie. He's barely in the first one. He's like
off-screen death.
The second one, he like gets controlled and disappears for like 3/4 of the movie, and then the third one, they just kill him off. Yeah. It's so outrageous.
He's like killed off before it even starts, right?
Like he has one good scene.
Like the lake.
Yeah.
There's one good Cyclops scene that I like is when he goes to see in the movies when he takes Professor X to go see Magneto, and when they go into the jail cell and he sees that the lady comes with the shot thing or whatever, and he gets shot and he kicks the guy's ass for like 15 seconds, and then after that he just gets toasted himself. But like for like the 15 seconds, he was like a badass guy for a minute. That's like the only thing out of all three movies where he's actually kind of cool, and it's just like
they had a chance to redeem it in the newer ones and made him quite debatably even more of a bitch.
But it's all about Wolverine.
Everyone
and I'm
makes
sorry.
Fun of him and
I feel like if you pull up anybody who's a Cyclops fan, I think if you had to rate your one you didn't like, I think most of them would choose Wolverine. There's that rivalry between Wolverine and Cyclops, and even the movie plays a little bit how they don't like each other when he steals his car.
I have to talk about Wolverine.
All right, you go now.
Wolverine is by far the coolest character in all of X-Men. I mean, if I was gonna rank, I think he's the best Marvel superhero. He's got the coolest powers. First of all,
that's the coolest powers. There's other better powers. I think his personality is
practically not dying ever, no matter what. It doesn't even matter who he's fighting. He'll be fine.
He does die in the movies
and in the comics.
Yeah, I know.
Like, there's just not that many movies compared to like the history of comics, and he's one of the people that's died.
Yeah, because they had to kill him because he was done.
Yeah,
he's got his claws are sweet. All of his skeleton is encased with metal. How is that not really cool?
If you wrote that, if you put it on paper, it's like, oh, your skeleton can be covered in metal. Oh, yeah, sign me up.
It only works because he has the healing factor, but
yeah,
he's just amazing. He's clearly like the most powerful one in a comic book, which of course this isn't a good thing, but in a comic book, he kills all of the X-Men at once. They're all fighting him, and he kills all of them.
Okay, in the X-Men's argument, he was brainwashed, and they weren't trying to kill him because that's their friend. And he was just like ruthlessly like stabbing them through their.
It wouldn't make a difference.
Yes, it would if they were trying to kill him.
Who on the X-Men, if they were actually doing it for real, who would stop him?
Colossus.
No, he would stop him.
How?
Kill him.
Couldn't Cyclops with his beam technically?
Yeah, just keep him at a distance. He's pretty good at it.
How could he kill Colossus?
Just do it.
See, I feel like when it comes to Wolverine's powers, I feel like he's obviously pretty powerful in the sense of he's a good fighter, has the claws and and a skeleton. But I kind of feel like on the scale of like powerfulness, he's way down at the because I feel like anyone could kind of come in.
Storm just go up here.
I mean,
on the ground with winds and stuff.
Yeah.
Magneto controls him at one point in the movie. Basically, he kind of
he's metal.
separates his claws and like he kind of like.
Okay, but I know what you care about is just how powerful they are.
True, that
There's
is
more
true.
to it.
That is what
You brought it up as that he could kill
I know.
all the X-Men.
He could
So
kill
we're just
a
having
lot
to
of them.
debunk you.
A lot of them could
Kill
beat
him?
him though.
I mean, maybe not kill him,
No.
but beat him.
Like a very small percentage of the people could beat him, and he
With the
could
Phoenix
beat,
Force,
like
Jean
most
Grey
of them
like
at once.
disintegrating.
Okay, the Phoenix Force doesn't count. Okay, that's not really Jean Grey.
Well,
If we're gonna make that argument,
but as a character, that's like one of her biggest things.
yeah, but it's not really. It's like a separate character.
But she's the main one with it.
The question I have though, in with the Last Stand, when she's up there and he's trying to climb up the mountain, he's like, is that really possible, or did the movie make it where he can
Well, I think
hold
she's
that type
like
of
holding
power?
back a little because she wants him to kill her.
Psychologically, she knows that that's him.
Right.
She like wants him to kill her, so she's like not.
She's fighting the Phoenix Force
Yeah.
herself as well. So
Again, I don't know Wolverine too much on the comic side.
I would say that I like Wolverine better than Cyclops, not by much, and it's strictly because of his personality, not because of his power. Like what
He's an actual cool guy. He's not.
I just like how
posing.
he just says cool stuff, like, bub. It's
Cyclops
classic.
is like the guy that's posing as a cool guy, where Wolverine's the actual cool guy.
I guess I just think because I've never read the comics, a lot of them, it's tough to like Cyclops from the movies.
They shit all over him. It's really it's outrageous.
And the cartoons he's better, but it's the cartoons that usually do focus on the younger characters, and he's kind of like teacher-ish in it.
The movies try to make him cool, but he's just not.
Yeah.
Like, oh, he has a cool car.
I hope
But
they do it.
you know, he doesn't get to drive it at all. He's not even in the movie, but he has the cool car. You know,
Got one.
it's like
Oh, it's in the garage right now. But I got it. We got doubles.
tripled
Yeah.
one.
All right, so my number one is Jean Grey. I feel like, as you can tell, we've got the Dark Phoenix comic up there. We've got the Pop back here. We got another one up there. She's just sweet. And again, I don't like to fall into the Dan combo of power, but with the Phoenix Force, I just enjoy the power. And it's like, think of like Professor X's like telepathy and telekinesis type deal. It's like just a much more likable character.
You don't
doing
really
that
like
cool
Jean
powers.
Grey. You like the Phoenix.
I like Jean Grey too. She's just cool. She's my favorite one of like the upper like level like teacher figures in like the school. Like I don't like Storm, I don't like Beast, I don't like Cyclops. Wolverine I wouldn't really even
But what does she
associate
really
with
do
school.
at the school? Like again,
like the
off of the
same thing
movie,
as the
she's
other
really not
ones.
doing it. Like,
Yeah,
She's
like a teacher.
she's like the scientist too in the lab. She's always doing like checks
she's
on
science.
this.
I'll give you that. She's Professor's little assistant.
Yeah. She's just a cooler version of Professor X. She can walk.
Oh my god.
She's just a better version of Professor X in every way. And she has the Phoenix Force and can just do whatever she wants.
She is nicer than he is.
I mean, based off the movie, she's more powerful than Professor X.
She's definitely more powerful.
Yeah. And she's cooler. And again, can walk.
Oh my god.
Dan.
Okay, so my number one is Nightcrawler. I know Niko had him pretty high on the list. Talked a lot today about Giant Size X-Men, that first issue with that new team. That to me, that one, just so cool. Like you show his origin. He's like, I forget what country he's from, but like people are like riding with like the pitchforks. He's like running away up on like the roofs and
I
stuff.
think he's the
teleporting.
devil.
Yeah,
I
they
think
do.
He sounds like he's, I would say, like German.
Yeah,
Something like
I
that.
guess German.
yeah, German.
But
Probably.
I think he just has a great story. His
It's like
character
that
and
V
his
sound
powers.
and W.
And it's just like how he talks, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think he's a great character. Cool powers too. You know, teleporting. You can get out of the way of most danger. Definitely a great person to have on your team. You know, need someone to teleport somewhere. But I think he's a great character.
How are the hijinks in the comics? Is he funny?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
He's a funnier character.
Cool.
You know, he's probably not as much as that TV show, that cartoon that you watch, because they probably amplify everything, but definitely like
Yeah, how many times
personalities are pretty
Wolverine
similar.
say "bub" like every other word?
Yeah.
Bub.
That's sweet. That's the only
Hey,
reason I
bub.
kind of like it. But yeah, in the show, Nightcrawler and Kitty Pryde just form a great team. They're like teleporting, then phasing, and teleporting and phasing. And
Yeah, I think even like so shortly after that issue that I keep talking about is when Kitty Pryde joins, and them two on the team do seem like he's not that young really, but like I guess they seem,
close.
well, that's not the word I was looking for, like immature, I guess, like
Yeah.
the two of them compared to everyone else,
Yeah.
which is kind of like a
They're kinda
nice
like the fun
relationship.
members.
Yeah.
Everyone else on the team is pretty tightly wound. Like Cyclops, Jean Grey, Storm,
Yeah.
Beast. Like they seem pretty
Yeah, they're not like a kid at
yeah,
all.
they're pretty tightly wound, like straightforward people.
Yeah.
They're not really up for the joking around. Wolverine can, I don't know. Seems like
He's cool in other ways.
okay
yeah,
with it.
Mad.
Yeah, but he's like cool. He's not like
Yeah.
by the books.
He's just kind of like a grumpy kind of guy,
Yeah.
you know.
Kitty
He's
Pryde
cool
and
when he starts fighting and stuff.
Nightcrawler.
That's when they're cool.
They're cool.
Wolverine's really like an old man if you think about it. He's like
Yeah.
an old grumpy guy.
But yeah, so what do we have? We have the two Cyclops and Wolverine lovers and haters on this side.
I don't know if
of
I
the
can come
table.
back on the show again after.
Yeah, we just have to have a one-on-one debate. Maybe that's what we'll do after this airs. We'll put up a poll, a Cyclops Wolverine poll. Probably not going to go well for you, Dan. But
It's not gonna go well because I always pick
Well,
that.
we
I
I'm,
feel a
I'm,
lot better with Wolverine.
maybe we'll put up like a poll where you can make your argument, so we can see if anyone else has a Cyclops argument or an anti-Wolverine argument. But yeah, so we have the Cyclops Wolverine bunch, Nightcrawler, Jean Grey. So we have a well-rounded favorite. We have
I will
four
say
different
I'm kind of disappointed that one character wasn't brought up. I don't think once.
I have a one too. What's yours?
Mystique.
That's the same one.
I mean,
thought
really,
someone would have
she's
Mystique.
like has a huge role in both the first trilogy and the second. I mean, again, judging off the movies, and like, that's probably something that I wouldn't mind either. Being
Yeah.
able to transform himself into any person.
I do like Mystique. I don't know. There's my fifth spot. I guess she could have been there, but
Well, I thought it was a little weird, like, I know, like, Jennifer Lawrence is, like, really famous, so they made her a bigger character, but it's weird how they made her so much of, like, a hero and founder of the X-Men, when in the comics, it's really not like that at all. I guess that's how I feel.
Or the first trilogy. She wasn't one of the original. Like the first, like, you look at the first trilogy and then the second trilogy. It's like her character is completely different. Like,
Yeah.
like completely. Like it's like.
I was surprised. Do you not like Quicksilver?
I do. I think he's cool. Not enough to put on my list, but yeah, he's cool.
I just thought you might have because of the speed.
Kind of someone I make fun of compared to the Flash,
Yeah,
though,
yeah.
because he's way faster.
But yeah, so we had the Nightcrawler, Jean Grey, Wolverine, Cyclops. So a well-rounded team. We'll throw up that poll. Hopefully I remember to do it when this episode airs, so we can. If you like Cyclops, you gotta throw Dan a bone. We need someone to side with him because Cyclops kind
It
of.
just feeds my hatred for Wolverine. That everyone just chooses him.
I don't agree with the Wolverine. I don't love him, but all right, that wraps it up. We will see you guys next week.